Luna. Hello, hello. Hello, Marilyn. You are first. Well, I'm only seeing one, so I'm guessing, Marilyn, you are the only one here. How was your week? I know that I'm changing up a little bit the time of the live, so I shall see who pops in. I'm going to give you guys some updates, what's going on, how was my week. I did not have any questions to answer this week, so it's probably going to be like a small live, but we shall see. When you pop in, let me know you're here. This is the first time it happens to me. Crickets. Well, if you're watching this on replay, I'm going to give a little bit of what's going on during my week. Monday, Tuesday, well, all week this week I was like ultra busy, appointments, going to school for my kids, had to meet up with the principal, and like many things were going on appointment wise for me this week, so there was not much time for me to do any gardening, like sowing seeds and playing with dirt. So mainly this week I sowed some celery seeds. I made sure to film. Hi, there's a viewer. There's no longer crickets. Come say hi. So I sowed my celery seeds. I think it was Sunday or Monday. And then I did a lot of transplanting. I had some kale to be transplanted, some Swiss chard, some Asian cabbages that needed to be transplanted. And I'm going like full swing soil blocking experience. I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth with soil blocking. I know I had a special request from a viewer to do a special video on how I do my soil blocking in my technique. And this is going to be my third gardening year using the soil blocker. Also, a little update on Luna, our dog. It's going well. We've had her now for a week, almost 2. She's still adapting, still very young. And today was my first course to being introduced into training her, like the basics and and all that. Yes, without cutting ourselves. You're here, but I'm seeing that there's no one here. So I feel like I'm talking to myself. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I did my first course with her. Well, not with her, but it was online. And it went pretty well. It's a 2-hour course. A lot of information. Lots and loads of information. And my brain is kind of wired, like hot wired right now. And a little bit mush. So I'm talking to you. Okay, well, I'm seeing 0. I'm happy that there's someone here. So how was your week? Anything fun happening? I know for us it's getting real cold. We've had like super warm temperatures. And then one day it went like way below freezing. And this morning was quite cold. We had 2 mornings that was horribly cold. Even the school were not even letting the kids playing outside. So yeah, it is getting cold, and we have some snow coming in. I think my husband said we were supposed to have snow today and tomorrow, I think. Yeah, so it was snow today and snow Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So lots of snow coming. and lots of cold. What about temperatures? Temperature-wise, we're looking at minus 13 plus windshield, minus 7, minus 7, minus 1, minus 1, 0 on Thursday, March 2nd. So cold, 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 cold. Yes, without cutting yourself. I've never cut myself on soul blockers. Never. I did cut myself washing and cleaning 2-inch pots, 3-inch pots, and 4-inch pots, all of them. And you know when you go inside and you wash, like I would cut here and like between the fingers, that hurts. We had cold for a few days, but sunny. Yeah, well, it's cloudy mostly now. It was very sunny the prior week. Now it's like the sun doesn't know what to do. Your onions see me. I haven't sown my onions yet. I'm due to sow my onions Sunday, I think. I think I'm due for Sunday, which is the 26th, I think. Yeah, Sunday. But I might sow them like half tomorrow and half like Monday. Like over the weekend is like ridiculously crazy now with the dog, and the kids want to like being involved with the dog. We are starting to do something new, like reintroducing family days in our weekly. So we're out and about with the dog, and we're discovering places where we're allowed to walk our dogs on a leash in the forest, not like just like path and stuff like that. Like we want to go in the forest. And also that's what we're doing. We started that last week. I did film a little video about that. The kids had fun. Luna had fun. She slept a lot after that. The kids slept awesome that night. I don't know why. We walked for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then we came back home. We had hot cocoa, and we relaxed the rest of the day. For the leeks, I'm not sure. If you want, I can go look at my notes. They're like in the kitchen right now, so like a couple of steps down there. I could check. I think I'm starting my green onions, my leeks, and onions all at the same time, but I'm not sure. Like, let me know. I could, like, the notes are not far. I can step in quick and go get them. And it is spring break also, not next week, the week after that for us. So I have to get a lot of my stuff organized because I'm going to have the kids full time. And in that week, I think it's the week I'm supposed to show my tomatoes or cabbages. And like I have a lot to sow. So I need to get myself like really organized around the kids' schedule, the dog schedule, and like they need to be planted. So they were planted with onions. I just don't remember if you... Yes, I do leeks. But I never had success in big leeks. I normally do them in plug trays. And I would sow like 2 seeds per plug, 2-3 seeds per plug. I would plant them in bunch. But they were heavily massacred by I don't know the name of this bug, but like it was in like they would bore inside the onion and massacre it, and like since it was stress, the leek would never get bigger, maybe a little bit bigger than a green onion, a homegrown green onion. So it was puny. I'm trying something new. The course I'm following right now is suggesting a different method to grow them. I'm gonna give it a try. And I am transplanting them in the middle of carrots. So I'm helping with one of the problems with the carrots. There's like a rust fly or something like that. And I'm hoping that I will be able to deter for the carrots, and I might cover the leeks to see if I can get better success. To have like, I don't want, like my objective is not to have like those big leeks. If I can get like maybe 2-3 times the size of a green onion, I'd be super happy this year. Like more than happy. But I don't plant a lot. Like I'm just planting one row. That's it. Nothing more. Because I dehydrate them. And what else do I do with leeks? I dehydrate them. I do soups. And I the first time this year, well, last year, I dehydrated the greens and reduced them into powder, and I'll be using that in my recipes. That's something I did also this year. So I don't need that much. If I can get like 20 big ones, I would be very happy, like to start off with. Yeah, mine were eaten too last year. I'll have to watch. Yeah, so there are some things that you can spray that's organic. I would not want to do that. I have to read. If I can put diatomish earth on the leek, I think that's what I'll do. Not on the soil, but on the leek, on the foliage. Because I don't think I'll have enough row covers this year. Like I'm making the investment of 164 feet of row covers, 50 or 70 grams, I can't remember. And it is a big investment. And I think I'll be able to cover 6 garden beds of 16 feet, 6, 7. And I think I have 1 or 2 here from last year, but I don't know in which condition they are. So I know that I'll be able to cover 6 rows. Obviously, my cabbage, my cauliflower are like primarily going to be the ones like on my top of my list on the 6 garden beds. Beets also, because I want to pressure can a lot of beets. I do not want to buy them at the store. I'm also covering onions. I think I'm going to cover my storage onions. And if I have to sacrifice the shallots and the like Walla Walla and Elsa Craig, it's okay. Worst case scenario, at the end of the season, I'll just dehydrate them and enjoy them a different way, reduce them in powder, and like my regular conservation onions will be pest free. Because right now the onions that I have and the garlics that I have were infested with those little things, and now I lost almost a quarter of my garlic. So I'm learning. It's a learning curve for me to have my own garlic, to conserve my own garlic, and to maintain them. Yeah, it's pitika. I would prefer not to use it. Like last year, I sprayed my garlic and some of my onions with it. But if I can have an alternative, I would. So this year, this is why I'm investing in the 164 feet long row cover. And then next season, I'll also invest on a second roll. And so next year, not this season, 2024, I'll have 12 to 15 beds completely covered. So that means my squash will be covered, all my onions will be covered, all my garlic would be covered, my beets, my cold hardy crops that are infested with those little critters. And the only thing that does not have that's not impacted by pests will stay free, like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. Lettuce are not that affected for me here. What else? Celery, peas, beans. I know there's a lot of beet beetles. There's not beet beetles. Bush beans beetles and stuff like that. But they don't massacre that much the plant, so I can live with it. So that's the plan. So if I can have all those crops protected with nets, I'd be very happy instead of using BTK. But I know sometimes you have no choice. I'm also working on I have this sewing calendar, and I'm trying to find this system for me this year to optimize my time. So I've done a lot of planning before, and now I am going through how I want to do my year, journaling what I need and what type of information do I need in my garden planner, in my sewing planner, in since I'm using soil blockers, I'm starting with the little mini 3/4, then I'm up potting to the 2-inch, and I'm probably going to invest in the 4-inch soil blocker instead of buying 4-inch containers to transplant my peppers, my eggplants, and my tomatoes. And like reducing the amount of pots I have to wash, that would be amazing. Because like every time I use a 3-inch container, I have to wash it. I know a lot of people don't, but like I don't want to introduce bacteria either in my seedlings or in my garden bed. So if I have 150 tomato plants, that means I have 150 pots minimum to wash. So it's the same insects as garlic for me. Yeah, I know. They've been hard. Like the first 2 years that I had garlic, they were not really present. Same thing with my onions. But I guess I need to work on the biodiversity of my land. So this year I am introducing a lot of perennials, like fireweed. I would like to have like this, my husband calls it like the savage flower thing going on in the back of our property, so that we can have all these little wild flowers and introduce way much buzzing little friends to push away the bad little friends that comes here. So I know that they will still be a lot of pests here, but if I can introduce this like this climate for butterflies, for good pollinator, I'm sure that some of them will go. If only row covers would look nice. Yeah, I know they don't look nice, but you have a choice to make. So I manually pick every single larva I find. So it is a lots of time consuming. And it's so frustrating that you spent all that time sowing the seed, taking care of the seedling, transplanting the seedling, making sure everything is going well, and then you lose the plant. So I know it does not look good, but it saves a lot of time, frustration, and energy. But it does cost the money. This guy is a Shepherd Husky mix. Oh, cute! It took about 14 months to train him to pee outside. Oh, no, that's a lot. It's okay. So training with Luna for potty is a little bit more difficult than a pup that I would have bought brand new. Well, brand new, like 8 weeks to 12 weeks old. Here's the thing. The puppies never, ever, ever went outside. So they were never introduced to anything else than the pee-pee pad. And they would never poo on the pee-pee pad. They would just poo where they wanted. And then the previous owner that had Luna, same thing. They did not introduce her to the outside. She would have multiple pee-pee pads around the house and would poo everywhere. So when I got her, she was, I think, 15 weeks old. So between the 12-week marks till 16, I think it's 18 weeks mark, like there are a different phase than the puppy phase. So if you're buying a new pup, and as soon as, like, the trainers usually will bring the puppies outside, they will not be potty trained, obviously, but they will have some success outside, and they will understand that if they pee outside, they're going to have a treat. So then when their new puppy owner comes and picks up the pup, part of the work is done. So I need to erase that training that she had, and I'm giving her a lot of like props, because like she's doing good. Like almost 50% of what like she does is outside, and she almost sleeps through the night. And there's been 1 or 2 nights since I had her that there was an accident in the cage. So it's going well, I have to admit. Though this is why I decided we were going to invest in courses to make sure that the training that she got at the previous owner and the parents, I guess, of the pup, like not being erased, but like deprogrammed into better behavior. He's 8 now, and now never pee in the house. So it's a learning curve. I know in the trainer that I spoke to today, when they give us numbers, they say they should be clean and trained, potty trained at a certain age. Some is earlier, some is a little bit later, some takes lots of time. It's only guidelines. It's exactly like children. So every time she was talking about a puppy, she would compare them. The trainer would compare it to raising a child, because raising a pup is almost the same as raising a child. And some will excel faster, some will like excel a little bit slower, some will take time, and some will need work for it to happen. So I have high hopes. She's been doing good. I'm hoping by spring we have that figured out. But like, no, I'm not putting any pressure on her. I want her to feel as comfortable as possible, as loved as possible. And when she's ready to fully be potty trained outside with my help, it will happen. Like, I just have to walk her 10 times a day, every 2 hours. So she goes in her crate, well, cage at night. We put her in her cage between 8:30 and 9. We walk her just prior to that, and my husband leaves the house like bright and early. It's still dark when he leaves. It's like about 4:30 in the morning. So because the cage is right in front of the door, she's walked between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, and then after that she just relaxes next to me in the living room until the kids wake up, and she's walked again. And then from there, every 2 hours, like usually she's walked at 6:30, and then 8:30, and then 10:30, and then 12:30, and then every 2 hours. So I'm walking a lot. So having a puppy makes you take the time every 2 hours to go outside and enjoy either the cold, the rain, the snow, the sunshine, every type of temperature. Hello, Tracy. Plowing, funny. I mean, fun. I'm sure it was fun. I haven't done that yet. My husband's not back from work yet, so I didn't do it. My coffee's cold. Cheers. Anything fun, exciting on your end, Tracy? Did you resolve your issue of your kale seedlings? You asked me a question the other day. If it was time for thinning, transplanting. I don't remember you giving me an update. Did I read everyone's comment? I also sent in my application for Shed Wars, and from what I understand is it changed name, or there's a possibility of changing name. I'm a bit behind on the announcements on that, and I think on the drawing, if I am accepted, I think I will know on March 11th. And I keep getting that question asked. What are my objective for? I'm going to say Shed Wars because we all know it as Shed Wars, and if it changes name, I'll make sure to keep you in the loop. My primary objective with this competition, because it is a friendly competition, is to have fun in sharing my knowledge. I don't have specific goals. I know that I can probably bring in 1,000 pounds. If I could bring in that, I'd be more than happy. If I bring more, I will success that accomplishment. If I bring in less, well, it is going to be what it is, because my main focus with this project is to expose my knowledge in having fun, like wider, with audience that I don't know, meeting new people, and by following also others that are doing Shed Wars, I'll be able to learn new tricks, new tips, new tricks, and just build a a bigger community, and there's a lot of people down south also in that competition, so I'll be able to see what other gardeners do in other zones. Because since I'm doing so many experiences with my high tunnel, which is I'm trying to grow 4 weeks prior to my growing zone, which is almost like creating a zone 6 because I'm zone 5. So if I am exposed to zone 6 people, I will pick up some tricks and maybe want to recreate certain things in my tunnel to make it happen. Because if I can get food 4 weeks prior to my growing zone, that means I can start harvesting way earlier. And if I can buy myself 4 to 8 weeks at the end of the season, creating zone 6 and like adding a bit of supplement heating. We're looking into different heating solutions, and we might get it in the spring, if not in the fall. And that means I will be able to grow almost year round, because I started my seeds for the tunnel on early January. It's green onions, and they will be transplanted mid-March in the tunnel. Kale, same thing. Swiss chard, beets, turnips, radishes. What else am I trying? Asian cabbage. I'm not trying cauliflower or broccoli. I am just trying Asian cabbage because I can squish them closer. And they seem, from what I'm reading, to be more tolerant to colder temperatures. So we'll see. What else am I trying? Spinach. Kale, Swiss chard, spinach, beets, lettuce, and mustard. So I'm trying a lot of cold hardy crops and greens, green onions, and some root vegetables that are shorter in growing season. So I'm using radishes that are 28 days, and I'm using some turnips that are 45 days. They're little white turnips. They're a little bit bigger than maybe twice the size as a radish. And I'm not going to be growing carrots. I know I could, but I'm not going to try it. I might do it in the fall. So I'm going to start with that, and then once I get established with this knowledge, I'll try more next year, because it's a lot of, like, I think I have like 10 or 15 things that I'm sowing and transplanting in the tunnel. So I want to get comfortable with that. There's also dill and cilantro that I'm growing in there. So I want to get comfortable with that. And then next year, if it works, I will be adding carrots, short season carrots, like Persian carrots are 55 days. There's another one that's also 50 days. So not the ones that are 100 days, because then they will be too late to harvest. And like the small conic carrots will give me about, with 50, 70 days would be just right. So when I harvest them, I will be able to plant, like flip the garden bed, put a batch of fresh compost, amend the bed, and then pass the broad fork and replant for the next crop. And in my tunnel this year, I am doing mainly squash, winter squash, cucumbers, and melon in one row of tomatoes. My tunnel is a temple converted car structure. It is 11 feet wide by 20 feet long. But if I wanted, all I had to do was buy two temple structure back to back with the same arches, and I could have it 40 feet long if I wanted, or 32, or like it comes in increments of 4 feet. So I bought a full temple structure, and that one was 20 feet. But I could, if I can convince my husband, I could add 4 feet. And then the first feet, so 4 feet by 11 feet would be my greenhouse, where I would have my seedling operation and some of my tools. And then the 20 feet could be the growing part. I would love to have a seedling greenhouse. It would be amazing. Like, I cannot even start to explain to you how amazing that would be. So I would have like my 2 shelves in the house where I start my early crops, celery, onions, some perennials, some flowers that I have to be started early. And then when I can have that supplement heating, if I can keep the temperature under seedling mats, like all the greenhouse would be under seedling mats to make sure that the soil is kept at 20 degrees. And then in the morning I would turn it off. And same thing with the heat, I would turn it on like right after this, like just before the sun goes to bed, and then turn the heating, same thing, turning off in the morning, but always maintaining a 20 degrees Celsius environment. It would be literally amazing. And I would be super, super happy with 4x11. Like, it's not enough, but I would be more than happy, because that means I could start all my seeds of tomatoes and peppers and eggplants outside. Cabbages outside. I wouldn't have to do any acclimatation, or almost no acclimatation. So that means I can like have a table outside of the greenhouse and just bring the seedling outside, or simply open all the sides during the day, the door, have a circling fan, and they would be adapted to the sun. And then like the transition would be so easy on me. I would not have to bring in, out, in, out, in, out on a daily basis, all those trays. It would make my life so easy. But I'm not there yet. So I might convert my tunnel, like I did last year, into a temporary greenhouse structure. But I still have to talk to my husband about that. He might come up with an idea that I didn't think of. So you thin them and put the light closer. How is that going? Is it doing better? I saw a video of the Académie Potagère on him on hammock chair in his greenhouse next year. I am following the course of Académie Potagère. I didn't see him in a hammock yet. I'm almost done the 4th module on 12. It could be in a different... I know that, well, right now I have access to this course, but once this course is finished, I'll have access to others, and one of them being, I think just now it was released, they are doing one on handmade structures for greenhouse in high tunnels. So there is a full training available online at the Académie Potagère. So it was maybe the publicity of that. I am sowing in ground outside. I have some raised beds outside. I have some grow bags that are 30 gallons, 25 gallons, and 5 gallons. In my greenhouse, they're like, it's semi-raised beds. Like, I've lifted up, I think it's 8 inches or 10 inches, and I put some siding, so it's like semi-raised beds. So I grow every single different style. And my soil is heavy clay soil. So it took me about 3 years to establish my soil that I have in ground. I kind of did like lasagna style, like I would add. And it took a while before the in-ground garden was good. And now I'm starting my 6th growing season in that in-ground, and I would say now it is a good soil. I know there's still loads of stuff I could do to make it better, but that's how I started with clay soil, and the lasagna style garden was my best friend. My dreams are bigger than my income. My tunnel cost $40. The structure cost me $40. That's Canadian. 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. The plastic I'm using is not the greenhouse plastic. It's a construction, like my husband had a leftover from when he did walls inside the house. And it's like that vapor cover that you put on the walls. And we bought the roll that's the most thick, the thickest one. So the best quality one. And that's what we're using for the high tunnel. At one point, because now I am changing that every couple of years because it's not made to be a greenhouse material. At one point, I will probably convert to a greenhouse roll. I found a supplier that has that, and therefore it won't be necessary for us to change the siding as much. But like, I needed to be frugal when we had the tunnel, and that's what we could afford. And we took scrap wood, literally scrap wood, on the curb to build the framing of the door, the entrance door, and the framing of the back of the tunnel to create like these windows. So you can be very, very, there's cheap ways to build tunnels. It doesn't look as pretty, but like, I wanted to paint the wood of the front facade, but my husband said, why? You're gonna have to paint it back, and it's gonna look probably uglier because it's gonna fade away. So I'm like, okay. So I didn't paint it. That's what I had when my dad had his greenhouse, a seedling greenhouse in the big greenhouse. Thousands of seeds germinated there. Okay, so if I add 4 feet to my tunnel, I'm gonna have to relocate like a garden bed that was created with stones, and relocate another garden bed that's a raised bed. So I'm not sure, and I would have to relocate some my wild black raspberries. But I could use we had 2 temporal structures. I could use the minimum you can use is 2, so it's 2 sections. So I could maybe use 2 sections. It would give me 8 feet by 11 feet, and located somewhere on the property. But I would be scared that my neighbors would complain. But I can say screw the neighbors and blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't want to fuel the fire. And I don't know where I would put it. Because technically you have to put it, I have to put it close to the house. Because I don't want to walk with all those trays, like, all the way down the property. So for me to make it super easy on me, is I could, technically we're supposed to lift the behind of the structure, and I could maybe drag it 2 feet back, and then I would be able to add the 4 feet in front. That could work. But since my line goes like this, the back end of the tunnel, I would have to raise it, so, and then bring in loads of dirt. So it's a lot of work, and I need to standardize my in-ground garden. So that means I am converting it into standard size. So it's going to be I think it's 50 feet. No. Anyways, there's a certain, like, every garden bed. So there's going to be 20 garden bed of 30 inches wide by 16 feet long. And there's going to be a walking path of a minimum of 3 feet. So I need to do that modification way early, because I'm starting transplanting mid-April. So it all depends how much time we have. If it is possible, I would love to have that greenhouse, seedling greenhouse. It would be a blessing. But my husband's dream would be to build, what do you call it? You know, when you pick up those old windows and in patio doors, he wants to create that for me. So that would be very pretty. Like, and then you paint it a color that you enjoy. But that's a lot of work also. I think to make it easier, the facade could be like small square windows, and then the entire siding and backing could be like old sliding doors, patio doors. It would be easier to build. But all those little mini windows, it's a lot like it's like you're building a home, but like with different measurements. So If he can build that, a window greenhouse, that would be awesome. I think I'm going to ask that for Mother's Day. They aren't growing as tall, as fast. Once they get their true leaves, I will transplant them into larger containers. The temple converted structure, we found it on Facebook Marketplace, like Craigslist or any type of online links that you can find that sells pre-owned stuff. Facebook Marketplace right now is a bit more expensive, I find. Sometimes I find that you could buy at the price of brand new. But if you have a better one, go on that one. Why am I changing my bed size? Right now, they are approximately 30-inch wide by, I have no idea, long. And when you are sowing a small garden, specific measurements are not that important. But once you're growing a lot of food, standardizing your operation means you don't need to think. You have 20 garden beds that are 30 inches long by 16 feet, 30 inches wide by 16 feet. You know that you can plant 10 tomato plants, one row, and then you have one row for lettuce, and then one row for something else. And then if it is, now I'm going by memory, but like, example, lettuce. I think you can have 3 or 4 rows of lettuce on a 30-inch garden bed. And if you standardize 16 feet long, you know that you can grow this amount of lettuce on one garden bed. So then when you prepare and everything's standardized, you have all these numbers written. So you have to figure it out the first year or so, maybe the second year, and then you'll know by heart. On one garden bed, 10 tomato plants. On one garden bed, this amount of peppers. On one garden bed, this amount of lettuce. So it becomes standardized and you don't need to figure it out. And it saves so much time. Also, when you come to transplant, you have tools that are made for market garden style gardens. So every single standing up tools that you buy are made for about the 30-inch wide garden. You can have them 100 feet long. That's your choice. I can't have more than 16 feet because of the situation and the way I am designed. And like where the sun touches, I have it's the max that I can go with. So this is the reasoning behind having a standardized garden. And it's to make my life easier. And my tools that I'm going to be buying will be designed to make my life easier. But standardizing your garden means a lot of work at first. So the first year, like now, because I have an established garden with approximate dimensions, now I have to redo most of the work. If I had the knowledge I have today, and I could give me 5 years ago suggestions, I would standardize every single thing that I do, because on a long run, it's more work at first, but then it makes your life easier after. I hope this answers your question. The cold frame. Are you asking why I would change the cold frame? Or if I have built a cold frame with windows? But it's not like a necessity, it's not, you don't have to do this. It's a choice I made because I have 2,500 square feet of gardens. If I had a 10 by 10 garden, I would plant one row of something, then have 18 inches of walking space, and then plant another row of something, 18 inches of walking space, and then go on from there. And at the end of my garden, this is where I would plant the things that are cucumbers, melons, winter squash, the thing that crawls, so that they don't come up on the garden, they go away from the garden and on the grass. but I'm not in that situation. So the course that I'm following right now online, it's market style gardening oriented, but for the family size garden. So it could be self-sufficiency or just for fun. But since I am doing it for self-sufficiency, I rather have more time because I lack time. That's one of my biggest struggle. I lack time to invest in problematic situation. So sometimes I have to choose my battles. And that means I have to let go some of my crops because I don't have time to deal with it. So that's the whole reasoning. But when I'm going to be in the juice of the season, I don't know. I don't know where I'll be. So like from what I'm reading, the first 2 years of standardizing your equipment, you need to unprogram your brain and like relearn new skills. So it's going to be a learning curve for me this year and probably next year. The window greenhouse, I thought you were talking. Yeah, no. I'm talking about a standing up greenhouse. I don't have a cold frame here. I don't see the use of it because I could just use my tunnel. Sorry, my dogs are like fighting right now, so you might hear some barking. We are about to put in 20,000 feet. That is amazing. Amazing. I hope you're planting some fruit trees in there. What is getting close? Are you talking about the growing season, spring, the overjoy, the harvest, the overwhelming part of gardening? Well, all of it is coming anyways. Just making sure they're not fighting. My little dog, Tio, is not impressed with Luna. So he crawls all the time at her. Planting, yes. Um, well, I already started some seeds, so I'm already planting, but you were talking about planting outside. It's going to come faster than you think. We are February 23rd, March 23rd. We are 2 months away to start transplanting outside for cold hardy crops for my growing zone. Having a standardized bed is a good idea for gardens with tractor path between. Yeah, but standard beds and path wide enough to reach and wide enough to pass cart through. Yeah, so if I had all the space in the world, which I don't, I would do one row and then 3 feet between the next row so that I can walk, bring a garden cart, and small tools that are wider. But I don't have all the space in the world. So this is why I'm doing the market garden, because this is like intensive gardening. So you have 30 inches of growing space and then you have 18 inches of pathway. That means no machinery can pass there. So by having 18-inch of path, you know that you'll be amending your beds with 5-gallon buckets. So like it's like you won't win all the time. There's some winning points in having this style. Or you can just decide, I have all the space in the world. I'm going to do 30 inches bed, but I want my small tractor or my garden cart to pass. Instead of having 18 inches path, I want 4 feet, 3 feet, so that you can comfortably pass anything. But when you don't have that much space, you're kind of like limited to go with the 18 inches because it's like so intensely sown and like dense. But you can grow much more food this way. But if I had all the place in the world, I would do anything differently. Standard beds or path, wide enough. Okay. Fruit trees won't be within that space. That's just the beds. We are 3/4 of an acre sitting fault. Nice. I am 1/3 of an acre. Nice. My last frost expected date is May 12th, but I'm using the week after that. But I think I'm like 12 weeks, 11 weeks. I lost track. Since like this week has been like appointments and like reading and like getting ready for Luna and getting ready for the garden. My brain has so much information. No worries. I'm gonna stop about at 1 because like I had my training from 9 to 11. Then I ate like super fast so I can come chat with you guys, and then I need to do a little bit of work before my son arrives at 2. So there's no worries. Have a wonderful afternoon also. I do want to say one thing. Thank you very much for watching my videos, for commenting on my videos, for thumbs up on my videos, for sharing my videos, because I am really now it's the patience game. Like they're officially I am not far from the monetization. Like less than 100 hours. But it's probably going to take a little bit of time for it to happen because it's like the last 365 days. So you guys, whatever you're doing, keep doing it for me because it is working. And I cannot wait to celebrate this accomplishment with you guys soon. I was hoping by the end of February. So we still have a couple of days left. It could happen. Yes, it has to be balanced out. I will measure out our riding mower to see if it fits, but I was thinking 30 inches bed and 30. Yeah. So the reasoning behind, I used to have 36 inches wide garden beds, but I could not like jump from one pathway to the other. Like I'm so small. I'm not even 5'5". I'm 5'4¾". So when I was jumping from one side to the other, I was always jumping within the garden bed. So by putting it 30 inches wide, you can comfortably be in the 2-path and work in the garden bed at the same time. And you can jump, obviously, if there's tomato plants, that's about your height. You can't do it. But once it's like small plants, you're able to jump from one side to the other. It helps out when you have like 50 feet long garden beds to be able to jump to one path to the other without hurting yourself or stepping inside the garden bed. Yeah. And you're also, Tracy is the next one in line in our YouTube community to run fast towards this milestone. Thank you. Are you still at 850 something? Doesn't an hour of life count as an hour? Yes. So let's just say you sit in front of your computer and you watch for an hour. If it's a live, if it's a video, it's an hour. The only thing that's not counted is the shorts, like the little mini videos of under a minute. I didn't read all of it. Does an hour of live count as an hour of watch time, or does that multiply? So if there's 4 people right now, there's 4 people in this live. So let's just say that these 4 people watched my entire live and it lasted an hour and 5 minutes. So it's going to be 4 times an hour and 4 minutes. But sometimes people come back. So it's going to be like 4 times whatever they've watched. Thick clouds cover puts me in conserve mode. Yeah. Like I said earlier on the live, last week and the week before, we had so much sun. But like this week, since it started getting cold, The sun is like confused. Like it peeks out a little bit out of the clouds, but it's mainly clouds here. So let's see. So you're saying 800? I thought it was 856. Tracy, I know you're a moderator. You could add your link to your channel if you want. If people wants to go check it out. 824. So you lost a couple of feathers since yesterday. Well, it's still close. We're close. You're going to be in my shoes like I was in December. So close you can almost smell it, touch it, feel it. Now, I am seeing this happening. I'm seeing myself celebrate with you guys. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing feeling to have worked almost 2 years. Because I will celebrate 2 years in March something. So it took me 2 years to achieve this. I didn't quit. Like I thought of quitting so many times. I was discouraged. I had some troll comments. I had some people tell me good things, bad things. I went to roller coasters of emotion, discouragement. But regardless of everything that was thrown at me personally and on this platform or any other platform, because I do have an Instagram account for Back to Basics Homestead, and I do have a TikTok also, so that I can get more exposure. Everything that was thrown at me, I kept going and going and going and going. I'm almost at my 2-year mark. I can figure that out, but my first video was more than 2 years ago. So I made like my first video, then I waited a whole year before publishing my second video. But 2 years that I took this very seriously. So let's see. And I have lots of videos. So my first video was December 22nd, 2019, which was the explanation of my name, Back to Basics Homestead, how our story started and why. And then I published my second video March 6th, 2021. So I'm not far from my 2-year mark. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not even 2 weeks from my 2-year mark. So it would be fun to celebrate my 2-year mark with this milestone. It would be amazing. Well, I do what I can with what I have. There's things that you guys don't see. There's struggles that I don't share, personal levels and personal reasons. But I also have a French channel, which is La Microferme d'Annie. And I always get the comments, why don't you transform the content that you're doing in English and in French? So I'm like, because it's a lot of time. Like if I had let's just say that I had a niche of like how to bake any type of dessert. Like all I had to do was do new recipes, figure out recipes, and then that would be it. I wouldn't have anything to grow, anything to preserve, not having a farm to run or anything. I probably would be able to maintain 2 channels about the same amount of videos per week. But when you do a 5-minute video or 10-minute video, you have to count that it takes 4 to 5 times more to film, to edit, to publish it on YouTube. So a 10-minute video can take up to like 4 or 5 hours just to do that. Especially when you start. When I started, it was horrible in filming. Oh my God, I had to refilm so many times, so many things were wrong. Like I would turn too fast, turn my camera off too fast. So I'm guessing Jack just popped in because he's the one speaking in French. Hi, Jack, but also hi, Lindsay. I'm actually leaving. I have to go do a couple of things before my son comes, so I can stay maybe like 5-10 minutes more. I'm there the past few days. Are you talking about your 2-year mark? If my computer would have handles, now, if my computer would handle it, it won't. My editing software would automatically make subtitles for me. And then YouTube would translate them in another language. Yeah, I know. Well, I did have a viewer mention to me that subtitles cannot be activated without us doing anything. Or, I don't know. She says that she can listen to my videos in English and French subtitles appear when she listens to my video. So I don't know if I did something. I don't know if she's doing something. I didn't know that was possible. Because like since I speak English and French, like if I listen in French, I don't mind. If I listen in English, I don't mind. Like I understand both languages. But I did not know that subtitles are now available without us doing anything. I don't remember clicking or changing anything in my editing. Yeah, I went like, when she said that. Because she follows also my French channel. And she says that now she mainly follows my English one because she's able to follow me because she has subtitles. So I don't know. Did she install? I would have to ask her. Did she install the app? Did she do something differently? Did she activate something on YouTube? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm going to ask her. Because if people knows this, that if they just have to activate something, I would be able to just tell people in my introduction, if they speak French, they can activate the this feature of the channel of the video, and they would be able to listen to it in French. Because there is small amount of French people doing content for homesteading in French. It would be nice to have as much content in French and in English. But for me to do that, I would need an employee, like almost full time with me. Like from March till probably November. And that's not possible. Because once the subtitle file is there, YouTube will transfer it, but I can't type it out. Too many ums. In my lives, I do a lot of ums. I don't think I do a lot of ums in my videos. Because, like, I'm more prepared. Like, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that I do. So I kind of prepare certain phrases I want to say, certain things I want to do. Let's just say I'm filming a pantry video. So I kind of draw out in my mind or on a piece of paper, okay, so I'm going to start here. I want to make sure I present that and like more organized. On a live, like it's raw, it's unedited. So you have like the real, the real me with the ums and the I try. I remember at first when I did my first couple of videos, there was a lot of ums and It's been a learning curve. Okay, so just figure it out. On setting buttons, click auto translate, then select French and it'll subtitle English speaking to French subtitles. Nice. So it's something that the user does. It's not something that I will do. I won't be ready to add subtitles for a while. I have a lot to come up with my game. Yeah. This is something that I've been very cruel with myself. I've been putting a lot of pressure to being perfect. Like, I have to do this. It has to get done. And then like slapping myself because I couldn't do it. I try to be like to give myself a little bit like a grace period. Like we're learning. We're in a learning curve. This, even though this is 6th year that I'm starting. I'm still learning, and I have so many things I need to learn. So I'm giving myself a period of grace. I think once I've reached 7 to 10 years of experience, I probably will be like super comfortable. I won't feel all over the place or overwhelmed. I am starting to feel that. Like, I know I'm a bit behind right now, but I'm confident enough with everything I have done and organized that I feel I'll be okay. And yeah, I'm almost leaving. But thanks for popping in. If you do, then I just chalk it up to you translating it. What do you mean? Okay, awesome. You too. I'm going to leave. My husband just arrived from work, and I have a bit of time with him with no kids, so I'm going to enjoy that moment. I thank you for passing by, chatting with me. Next week's Thursday Live, I have a course with Luna from 8:30 to 9:30, and then I have to bring her to the vet later on that afternoon. So I will probably do the same thing, a live for 30 minutes to an hour. And then after the next week after that, there's probably not going to be any lives on Thursday because it's spring break for us. Bye, Patrick. Bye, everyone. Have a fantastic week. We'll chat probably on Sunday, and I have a celery sewing video for you guys that I'm editing at the moment, and I'll be releasing it soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.